I hope everything's been going well in your life with the pandemic and everything. I would imagine the only positive thing about the pandemic for you is you can actually go to the grocery store wearing a mask and no one will know who you are.
Yeah, that is true. But unfortunately, like, you don't always wear a mask. Like when I'm getting into my car, you don't always wear a mask, and that's where the sneaky paparazzis get you. So no, but my girlfriend loves it. She loves that aspect of it. She's like, I don't have to wear makeup. I don't have to worry. I'm like, you don't have to wear makeup anyways, and you definitely don't have to worry.
So before I jump into why I get to talk to you today, I have a few more fun questions that I've been asking of everyone. What TV show would you love to guest star on?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, I can see you're actually giving it some real thought.
Yeah. I get to cast myself. That's a great thing. The first season of Handmaid's Tale.
Got it. What have you guys been binge watching?
Well, right now I've been studying Spanish, so I'm watching a bunch of Spanish. Right, I'm in the middle of watching El Chapo right now.
Is it Spanish because of an upcoming role?
No, I just it was sort of my my pandemic mission. I was like, I've been wanting to learn Spanish for a long time, and I was like, if I don't fucking do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I've just been at it, and I actually can speak a little bit of Spanish now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, amigo.
I want to say congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So jumping into why I get to talk to you today, I would imagine you get offered a bunch of scripts and a bunch of projects. What was it about this script and this movie that said, I want to do this?
Well, actually, the way this originated was me and Noomi, who are old friends. We actually went to high school in Sweden together.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. We weren't friends back in high school, but, we knew of each other. We were part of very different cliques. She was the hardcore theater clique, and I was more like a little hip-hop crew, and Swedish hip-hop crew. And but then we became good friends over the course of our careers, and we both, were over here. And I think we both knew each other originally from like stage work in Sweden. Like both doing pretty like heavy theater stuff in the first years of our careers in Sweden, in Stockholm and Gothenburg, and we'd had a great interaction in Child 44. That movie didn't turn out the way we thought it was going to, but we had some great experiences acting wise in it, and especially in particular me and her. And so we were just kind of plotting and scheming, and we're like, let's find something to do together. And then we found the script, and we loved it. We loved like the core of it, and we felt like it needed work. And then we were trying to find someone to do a pass on, a director with the strong vision. And she didn't let it go. She stuck with it. And then she found Yuval, and Yuval told her that, he told her, like, 50% of the script is great. You're great. Joel's great. The other 50% is shit, but I'm in.
Okay.
And then he took it from there, and he really elevated the script. He took it to another place, and completely reworked. And actually, I shifted roles. I was originally, when me and Noomi had the first iteration of the script, I was going to play the husband. And then with Yuval's take, he really wanted me to play Thomas. And originally, in the original version, you could not identify Thomas as anything else than American. He had like a perfect American accent, so he was more like a chameleon in that sense. So Yuval completely shifted the emphasis of the film. He made it feel much less like a World War II kind of Holocaust repercussion kind of movie, and much more something about a sexual trauma, sexual violence, and so he placed it much more. I feel like the film, finds itself in a corner of the discussion of what's going on, and the movement that's been going on, and I think comes at it from a little bit of a different angle, and I think becomes a great, piece of that conversation.
Listen, you do great work in it. I'm very curious, when you're playing a role like this, or you're playing a role that causes maybe for a little bit of intense emotions, are you able to leave the character you're playing on set every day and go back into being Joel when you get home? Or does a piece of the character you're playing kind of always stick with you until you wrap, maybe even after you wrap?
Yeah, it was usually yes. Even when I've done intense stuff before, and I figure it's usually like this: when you play a character that gets to pour their heart out, I usually go from set or from the stage as a happy person, even though you're going through these like convulsive experiences. But if you're allowed to go through them, you come out on the other side, and you've gone through some sort of catharsis. It's the same thing as when you have a big fight and you're crying, and afterwards you feel kind of serene, and you feel good, and you feel very open, and you're susceptible to love, and you feel loving. When you hold on to everything, and also when something is done to you, it's a lot different. And I wasn't expecting how much I was going to get affected by this, but I got really affected by it. And I'm usually very conscious of the energy, the spirit on set, and I get a lot out of being a co-creator of like a generous, warm environment on set where you solve differences in a good way, and people are laughing, and even if you're doing serious shit, it's with a warm, generous spirit. I wasn't able to do that at all on this movie. I got really agitated. I got into big fights with Yuval on set. We were screaming at each other. I can't remember ever having that experience before. And I was just sitting on set for hours on end, being tied up, and he was. I agree with all of his directing instincts, but while they were happening to me, because my arms were getting tied in a way that I was literally like bleeding from my arms because the ropes were like digging into my wrists in this way, and I was getting like sores in the corners of my mouth because the gag was like tied so tight. So Yuval has some really strong BDSM. Like his BDSM skills are very strong, and I will always.
Was he the one who actually was doing all the time?
He would, yeah.
Oh, then yeah.
It's not hard enough, and I'm for sure he took some pleasure out of that, that is without a doubt. No, but it really affected me, and it took me a few days to let it go, and I felt really, I felt pretty frail and worn out when we were done with it, and it was a really short, intense shoot, and I told to myself, you're never gonna do a series of something where this is the dynamic. This is like something you do for a few weeks, and then it's you lose your mind. It actually ended up probably being the toughest thing emotionally that I've done.
Yeah, I can't imagine, because and I don't like talking spoilers, but there's a lot of scenes of you, let's be honest, there's a lot of scenes of you tied up, and that's a lot of the movie. And I can't imagine going through that myself, experiencing that, especially because people don't realize making a movie is, you could be on set 12 hours.
Yeah. The thing is also what's really interesting is that even though that this is a film, and this is a job that we're doing, and this is part of doing this job is being tied up and being beaten and screamed at, but your body doesn't know that. Yeah. Your body is just suffering the abuse, and then it has a response to it as if it has been abused, and then that in turn infects your thoughts and your emotions. So you literally go through a process of actually being abused, and so it was tough, but interesting. I'm really glad I did it, and I was very happy with the result. I really felt like you know, it came out in the performance. I did not have to like search for anything. Everything was just right there on the surface and accessible on like the first take of every scene. It was like, it was just there, you know? So
No, completely.
it was cool.
Did you ever reach the point though where you had, you know, your arms tied up behind you? Did you ever reach the point where you're like, look, we're not tying up my arms today. Like, I'm just going to pretend that the arms are, you know, back here. Or was it always you had, you know what I mean? You were always going for the realism.
Yeah, no, I mean, there might have been, I'm sure that at some point, you know, when we were just doing a close up somewhere, that I said, do I really need them tied here, you know? And I found those little moments of breathing room. But I could also feel while we were going through it, even though I was pissed off about it and I didn't like someone screaming at me at the same time as I was being, you know, in physical pain. And I felt, you know, I also knew that this is good. And there is this little masochistic side of, I think, of any good actor that you do want to go through it because you really want that performance. And nothing is more important than that.
Completely. I mean, look, your work shines through in the film. Listen, I know I only have so much time with you. I'm a huge fan of For All Mankind. I love the show. And so I definitely want to know, I know you guys were filming season 2 and you had to pause because of COVID. And then I know that filming started back up. Have you wrapped on season 2 yet?
No, so I have 2 days left. I think we have about 10 days of shooting in total. I've shot like 4 days since we came back. And yeah, we're about to get it all in the can. And hopefully it'll come out in the end of this year, beginning of next. And yeah, season 2 is sick. It's really, we're taking it to another level. Like this show, like for people that dig the show, like I am so stoked to show like the second and then hopefully the third season, because you don't really understand the grand vision of this show until you come a little bit deeper into it. And like the grand vision of this show is fucking epic. And especially for any, you know, sci-fi fans, you know, it goes places. It goes. I'm sure that Apple would have loved to start, you know, sort of at season 3, because that's where it really goes into that other place. But I love that this show just like kind of takes its time and builds its way, and maybe it'll take a little more time for it to find an audience. It still feels like the awareness of this show is not where we want it to be. And I hope that the word of mouth from the people that love it is going to start to build, because I personally feel like the writing is excellent and the grand vision of the show is so fucking dope. Like as a fan, I would love it, you know?
No, I was going to say, listen, I'm basically out of time with you. I could spend the whole interview talking about For All Mankind, which when the season comes back, I really do want to talk again.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like I really, but that's the thing that I think that the people that haven't seen it, really, the writing, the production design, the acting, everything about the show is just so well done, you know?
Well, I'm glad you see it. And I can't wait for you to see season 2. I really can.
I really hope that Apple really supports it, because Ron Moore is a fucking genius. And, you know.
Also, Matt Wolpert and Ben Nadivi, they're fucking excellent.
Yeah, no, I'm all in. So listen, you got to do other interviews, but when the show comes back, hopefully we can talk and go more deep into the.
Yeah, let's nerd out on it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, listen, congrats on everything. Have a fantastic day. Can't wait to see Suicide Squad.
Always a pleasure talking to you, man.